Heads up operator, this is Black Paladin 84 with a loot location intel report, and the target for this video is Ban Phouphienge, henceforth known as Ban Phu. So the format of this video, I will begin with the ease of access, how close the target location is to landing zones and outposts. I will then move on to the resistance you can expect to encounter, which refers to the number of enemies and their tier group. I will then move on to the time allocation expectation, the amount of time you should expect to devote to this particular loot run. And then finally, I'll move on to the rewards, which for this particular video will include rewards behind a locked door, rewards in the open, as well as rewards on the bodies of civilians. So, first of all, the ease of access. So as you can see, Ban Phu is located southeast of Stalwart, south of Foxtrot 3, west of Quebec 1, west of Thor, northeast of Quebec 2, and northeast of Panther. So you have quite a few options in regards to where you can enter from. My suggestion, because I've entered primarily in the past from Foxtrot 3 Stalwart, so entering through the north, primarily I've entered that way. However, more recently I've found that entering from the south results in lighter resistance, so I would recommend entering from the south. So that is the ease of access. Moving on to the resistance. The resistance you can expect to encounter at Ban Phu is usually 6 or 7 tier 1 enemies, tier 1 being your flip-flops, the low armored enemies with the low penetration ammunition. However, despite that being the case, you should not underestimate them, because one well-placed shot is all it takes to kill you. I recommend using the ample cover that is available. Once you enter Ban Phu, and I will give my strategy guidelines from entering from the south, you have cover primarily on the left. You will have to go through this compound, this building. There can occasionally be an enemy patrolling up and or down this section, and then another enemy patrolling around here. Occasionally he'll go inside of this compound. So once you clear the first building from the south, which is coincidentally the loot room, but I will cover that later. Once you clear that, to continue moving northward, you will need to go onto the main road. There is a broken down pickup truck on the road there that you can use for cover. I would then recommend moving left or westward into this building on the western side of the road, and you can either pass through or go around, and as you'll see in the video, I come across an enemy patrolling away from me, so that was quite fortunate from my experience. And after that, there can usually be 1 or 2 enemies patrolling up and down around here. Sometimes they will congregate on the eastern side building just here, and this is the restaurant or cafeteria building, and there can be an enemy patrolling up and down around here. If and when you do encounter enemies in this location, be aware that any that are close by will push you. As you'll see from the video, the gameplay footage, I took out, or I attempted to take out an enemy across the road, and for whatever reason he refused to die, so I had to retreat and bandage, heal up in this building, and then I returned eventually around here and another enemy, after this initial enemy had died, he was attempting to flank me, but obviously his flanking maneuver was unsuccessful. After that, there will be enemies further along here. I believe 2 patrol in this section of the main road, and there is usually 1 enemy patrolling around in this section. So you should be aware of using cover as much as possible. It is quite bushy. However, there are areas that you can cut through and jump over fences and whatnot, such as that. Moving on, in the gameplay footage, you will see that it took me approximately 20 minutes. I think it was actually about 18 minutes and change. And that was me not rushing. However, if this will be your first time assaulting Ban Phu, I do recommend that you take it very, very slowly, because enemies can be hiding in places that are unexpected and can jump out of nowhere. So take your time with movement, and as well with aiming. Land your shots. 1 shot, 1 kill is the target, so there is no need to rush. Moving on to the rewards. As you'll see in the gameplay video, you will need a particular key. That key is BP room key. BP obviously for Ban Phouphienge or Ban Phu. However, there is usually quite a lot of cash and high value items on the civilian bodies, as well as a purse, which is located in an eating area at the northwestern end of Ban Phu. So without further ado, I will introduce the gameplay footage. Enjoy.